Good morning from Havant with the with the glow. It's Monday, the 22nd of June. We're on a rota swap. So you've got me for the mornings, for the 8 a.m s this week. You've got Kels at 12 and Dave at noons, 4 p.m s. So good morning, welcome to a new week. Welcome to week 14. Welcome catcher-uppers. I don't have to say hello to the people arriving live yet because no one's arrived. So I can just chat to those catching up. Thank you for catching up. It's really great that you can press the replay button at any time. And I had several late notifications last night from our usual late night catcher-upper crew. So you know the score. If you're catching up, you can get rid of this preamble. If you're doing a double whammy and you've got 2 or 3 to crowbar in, you can get rid of the preamble or watch it another time. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, catcher-uppers from around the world. But for now, let's say good morning to those movement snackers joining us live. A bit froggy in the morning, sorry. Good morning, George. The first man in, I think, Super G, first across the line from Scotland. And more Scotland from Edinburgh. Hello, Jane. Good morning, good morning. Come on, tell us where you are. You know the score. Thank you, Kathy, for that butterfly. Looking right at me. That's lovely. Thank you very much. Good morning, Germany. Bremen's in. All right, Red Rita. If you're watching this for the first time, and you can't see these comments and you just think I'm talking to myself, if you just kind of swipe across, all these comments will appear and you can get to know the rest of the movement snacking community. You can just watch. It'd be really great if you said hello, told us where you are. I can see Richie's watching, I can see TT's watching. Just give us a wave, say hello, give us a location so that we can pick, I can imagine where you all are around the UK and the world. So hello, Deb. Deb's in Wales. We got the Welsh posse coming on in. Sunny Dundee, Sunday. Is it Sunny Monday Dundee, Susanna? Sunny Monday Dundee, maybe. That's a new one. Hello, Fiona. Innica, great to see you. That's more Glasgow, I think. Innica, isn't it? I think I'm right there. So we've got Scotland building up their contingent here in the movement snacking dining room. It's Monday. Anything to report already this morning? Probably some walks. I know George has had a cup of tea. I know Deb's had a bath. Is that class as a bit of a warm-up? They're jumping in the bath, do you think? Unless it was a cold bath, I don't know. Dublin. Have we got the whole set? Scotland, Ireland, Wales and England. Got the UK in. Morning, Vanda. Great to see you on my little screen. Isn't it fascinating? This technology lark. Jane, you're half asleep. Let's what we're going to do, Jane. We're going to take the sleep dial, which is probably around about here somewhere, and we're going to gradually, just like really gradually, like you don't even know it, just turn up that dial. And in about 12, 13 minutes, the dial will suddenly be on wide awake. Monday with sun. The J from the Pool Tabber Posse is in. Fiona's done a bike checks. Fiona, help me out with that. I've lost it. Is that abstract or are you getting ready to go out for a ride? Hello, Carol, more Glasgow. Richie Paxton, is it 100 golf balls already? And it's 19 degrees. Is that down the driving range, Richie? Did you just hit them or did they go anywhere, purposeful? Do you just kind of whack them or, have you got a target? Blue sky. Oh, missed that. Blue skies and sunshine. Daggers is in. The Dagenham duo is in. The Daggers duo. The cat is here and we're ready. Short stay in Shrewsbury. That's good. Collective are in. Well done, Sheila. You've really improved. I'll put that on your monthly report, Sheila, that your timekeeping's really improved from the collective. Hello, Margaret, ready to go. PPE. Fiona's delivering PPE. Gotcha. Should we do it? Should we do a 3, 2, 1? Because, I'm a little bit squashed through my knees. 3, 2, 1. Good morning. My name is Bex Townley from Later Life Training. Welcome to week 14, 270-somethingth movement snack. We're going to about to deploy an additional 10-14 minutes of purposeful, meaningful, enhancing movements into your benefits bag today. If you're new and you haven't seen this before, hello Christine Rowland down in Penzance. Have a look at the movements. You can perform them in sit or stand, or you can switch between the two. Take your time, have a look, decide, use external support, all those things, and feel your way around these movements. Let's start to gradually turn up all the body dials from off to on, and then you deploy into your day and move more and more freer. Let's go. We start every movement snack with a circulation boost. If you're going to do this in stand, have an external support close to you. Hip height is about the right height. Or you may be deciding to start the movement snack in a seated position. If so, sit a bit taller. This support will enable an easier transfer. Lift and shift slightly forward, feet anchored on the floor, buttocks high. If you feel a bit slumped, can you lengthen and grow? Open the chest. That's the start position in sit. The start position in stand is all of those things, but plus equal weight distribution across the feet. Up and tall, lengthen, open, take up external support, and we will start the circulation march. So this is rhythmical, it's steady, it's even. If you're in standing, you might want to have a glance down. Just check that you have got a gap between your feet. This will support better balance, make you feel more stable and steady. And if you need to keep glancing down to check that those feet aren't coming together, do so. But I'm going to try to remain lifted through here. And just feel your way through this weight transfer. Bringing in a steady arm as and when you're ready. Battling with my screen again. Can you see the movement is from the shoulder? I can bring in one or two arms, or you may provide to have external support. In sitting, either start from the top end on the march here, one arm, two arms. So just build this as and when you feel ready. Bring those together. It's relaxed, it's even, all on a lifted posture, and as and when you feel you can, we're bringing in both. And as you start to build these seconds in these rhythmical movements, you'll literally start to feel the body systems slightly come from a sleepy state into an awake and more active state. On the last bit of this circ boost, an extra focus on ankles, feet and toes. So can you see in this seated position, it's generated from the feet and the ankles. The knee lift is arising from the ankle movement. If you feel you're a bit flat, that's going to feel a bit different. I'm going to be targeting something else. So have a look, try to get the feet to be working for you. In stand, it's the same until we get to a point where over time we can take a steady march of arms and legs and take a pause. Get your balance, remain standing tall, remain sitting tall. Do you feel you need to take a couple of deep breaths? If so, that's exactly what we want that circulation boost to do. Shouldn't be breathless, it shouldn't feel uncomfortable. We're going to get a slight rise in heart rate, and with that is going to come this need for some deeper breaths. So enjoy that. Take a couple of extra deep breaths just before we move into our mobility movements of the shoulders and the neck and the head. Standing tall, lengthen out of the centre. If at any time you feel that you're starting to sag a little bit, just take time to rest, have a pit stop, and then really try to reset that posture position before we take the next mobility movement. Here we go. In sit or stand, you choose. Have a look. Here's the posture points. Feet anchored, sit bones anchored, or stand. With the shoulders, let's just start with a couple of straight up, straight downs. I'm looking at you, of course, because I'm looking at the camera, but your gaze is forward. And straight up, straight down, and When you feel ready, I'm going to come closer so you can see this. Start to increase that range of motion to bring in the feeling of this backward circle. Head is still and forward. I start with a long neck position, shoulders are level, and I bring it up, back, round, and down to the start position. And pause after each one. Slow, controlled, your fullest possible potential of movement here. And this isn't just the shoulder joint, this is the whole of the upper back. They work together in life, lifting, dressing, reaching, anything that involves the arms, certainly above head movements, movements behind, pulling. It's going to bring in a lot more movement actions than just an up and a down. So if you can, get this backward roll. Can you see the chest is starting to open here as well? So we need these movements for basic everyday activities like dressing, washing, and then we have all of the other tasks over and above that. 3 or 4 or 5. Take a deep breath. Let's start the next one. The next one is lifted in sit or stand. I'm only kneeling here so that I can get closer. End of the nose stays pointing forward. Turn, pause at the centre. Turn, and then pause at the centre. Any movement of the head may challenge your balance to a lesser or greater degree. So if you're in standing, take up external support. Keep the length through the centre and feel your way around these sideways glances, if you like. And for your feeling here, how far can you comfortably move? No pace, no momentum, ease your way through. And you might be hearing all kinds of noises coming from the neck here. You've been laid down for about 8 hours, if not more. So movement takes time. It's better when as the muscles get warmer and as the joints are kind of moving, they themselves are creating their own lubricants to support movement. So give it time to do that. You can't just switch the on switch and expect the body to perform. It doesn't do that. It can't just jump through hoops. We need to give it the best possible chance, and that's what these mobility movements are all about. Okay, let's put in a little bit of extra circ boost from shoulders here. From face on, you can see that I've got a little bit of natural, a little bit of turn. That's okay. That's very functional. That's how we use the trunk and the arms together. Let's take our third movement of the top trio. I'm going to do the first couple facing you, then I'm going to turn. Usual rules apply if you're in sit or stand. We just put in that little prompt. Lengthen tall, grow that extra inch through the centre. The same in seated. It's the same. Focus on the mobility here. Fingertips to chin. Now when I do it here, you can't probably see much going on. The reason is my moon face. But can you see that my whole face and my gaze and my nose remain pointing forwards? Now, if I turn sideways, the magic is revealed. You ready? Building up apart. Trying to make a head movement sound exciting. Ready? Have a look. It's the double chin one. And actually it is exciting because so many benefits and improvements from our posture positions can come from trying to mobilise, improve the mobility in the back of the neck, here. And the position of our head through all our activities of daily life will greatly influence balance and freedom of movement. So that's our top 3 trio, the shoulders, the head turns, and the head movement there. So those 3 all work together for pretty much all of our activities of daily living. Let's move down to the trunk. Before that, let's put in a little bit more circ boost. Focusing on ankles, feet and toes. And again, can you see my knee raise is only as high as the movement in my ankles. And if you're flat-footed, this is going to feel like a very different movement. You can experiment with that if you want. So we definitely want ankles, feet and toes. It's rhythmical, it's steady. In seated, you might want to just do the top half only. guiding elbows if you're in chairs with arms, ankles, feet and toes if you can, or the other variations, feet slightly forward, and take the toe taps, or bring the feet back a little bit and take the heel raises. All of those movements will serve to boost the circulation for you. Here we go for trunk, starting with side bends. If you're doing this one in stand, take up some external support. So here I've got this fixed stable surface, it's about hip height. My feet are a little bit wider, and can you see when I take the bend, it's to the side only. Pause in the centre and then to the other side. So on a sideways profile, you can see my movement is sideways and up. Pause in the centre, feet stay a little bit wide, and as I take the sideways bend, there's no movement at all in the hips. And I just guide down and come back. The hands can be relaxed in front. If you don't need external support, we can just rest them here, like so, or you may prefer to slide down the trouser leg. And with that, you can take an extra lift this, so you get this kind of reciprocal movement here. But we're pausing in the centre. This is to ensure that we can remain steady and balanced. In chair, it's the same, but our anchor, if you like, is our buttocks. So make sure the weight stays even, feet a little bit wider, lift and lengthen, and we take the sideways bend on this strong, active trunk position. If you start to feel that you're getting a bit squeezed and slumpy, I'm going to suggest don't wait, just wait until that period of recovery, then take the length, and then just take that movement a little bit smaller. I would suggest it's more effective to have a smaller movement on a lifted posture than a bigger movement on a slumpy posture. And we're trying to build and enhance and improve the way we move. And over time, stuff will become easier for sure. All right, that's our side bends. Let's do our trunk rotations, our turning. So this is everything about turning to look over shoulders, get seat belts, critical one for driving actually. Personal hygiene, getting dressed, all those things, mobilising in bed, getting out of the bath, getting off the floor, and every day reach, grab and grasp. Anchor the buttocks, anchor the feet. Even if you're strong and steady in stand, I recommend that you have a feel of this in seated, and you'll be able to gauge, have you got the same degree of mobility in a sit position for this one? Pause. Have you got the same degree of mobility in sit as you do when you do it in stand? And you might be quite surprised to discover those results, because when we're standing, of course, we have to work much harder with our support system, down at legs, knees a little bit bent. Can you see I'm wider? I need to work much harder to fix all the supporting bits to then take the turn. So when we do this mobility movement in standing, we need to be much more mindful of our activation, if you like, of the supporting part. And if you feel that your hips are starting to drift or your knees are starting to turn, come back to the start point again and make that movement smaller. So work on your supporting parts, I guess is what I'm saying. And a great way to do that is to do a little bit in sit and stand, if that's right for you, and feel how mobility changes when we don't have to really consider supporting parts as much. Have a pit stop, have an ease out of that active posture. We can't stay up there forever. We all get tired in the middle bit. The muscles are working really hard to support us upright throughout the day. So have these pit stops, grow again, reset again. We're on back extensions. Sit or stand. Again, I recommend that you do the first couple in sit and then decide if coming up to stand is right for you. Anchor the buttocks, anchor the feet from your usual, from whatever that is, from your usual rested sit grow up, not like grow up. Lengthen up, and grow taller through the centre. And then we add an extra extension in the top end. Can you see here? My gaze stays forward, the end of my nose stays forward. So I grow up, I lengthen, and then add an extra squeeze. And you may want to put a hand here, palm or back of hand, to further guide, to check that the hips and the lower spine stays absolutely fixed. And I'm extending from the top end. In stand, it's the same. You may want support in front of you for this one. You may want to put your hips close to that external support. That offers some extra feedback, if you like. We shouldn't be thrusting, we should be lifting and lengthening and then taking that extension and forwards. And the weight stays even. So I should feel steady as a rock through my feet as I extend up. And we've talked many times, all three of us, Dave Cowse and myself, we spend many tasks in daily life flexed because we use our hands, so we tend to be down here. So when we talk about crowbarring in additional movements to help support postures, this is a really effective one just to give the body a break from all these repetitive movements we find ourselves in through the day. Ready for the last bit, ankles, feet and toes. Crowbar in a little bit of this if you would like, a little bit of that, a little bit of both together, whichever you fancy. If you're in stand, you might want to crowbar in a little bit of side tapping, because now we're going to do ankles, feet and toes. In standing, here's your options. Support leg nearest, take up support, lengthen, activate through the centre, heel in front, try to get the toe there. Can you see my supporting leg is a little bit soft, so I've got my support structure here. There's the ankles, feet and toes. If you're feeling steady and strong in stand, we can translate that ankle, hip and knee action into a purposeful stride. So using the ankles, feet and toes in the way they were designed to take that step. So there's my heel behind, there's my toe at the front. So progress these if that's right for you. Really articulate the ankles, feet and toes. In sit, we've got two options. Come all the way back into the chair. So we have most of the thigh supported. Just lift the foot off just as much as you need to, and then take the push away and the pull back. I'm still lifted. Can you see I've definitely got a bend in my knee, and I'm definitely going forwards and back on the toes. This is the lifting the toes up as we walk. This is the planting the foot down as we come downstairs and slopes, for example. You're going to feel the sensation of stretch behind the calf and the feeling of effort in the front of the shin. We've said before, muscles work in pairs. We're definitely doing a flexing point. We're looking to enhance and improve walking time on feet, if that is your goal. Same on the other leg, do both sides. Or you may prefer to do the similar action of the standing one. Got a little bit more activity in the hip here. Depends how tall you are, depends how tall the chair are, as to how this one feels. Or you too may want to go into a rehearsal of foot placement in the chair, where we peel the toes off, etc. If ankles and feet and toes are not on your radar, we go back to the hip walking, and we go back to all of the mobility activities that we've done prior to this. So if standing is not on your radar, really focusing on the trunk and the shoulders and the head movements. That's our first mobility movement stack of the day. 15-ish minutes in your bag there. Deploy them into your day. Crowbar in those things. Think about how you sit, how you stand, all the things we've talked about in the past. That all still applies, same principles. Have a great day. You've got Kelsey at... Trying to get the rota right. You got Kelsey at 12 and Dave at 4. So enjoy those sessions with them. See you a bit later. Keep on moving, everyone. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.